This AI startup exploded from a college project to the hottest startup in Silicon Valley, raising $20 million in just weeks, with no paid ads, no outbound, just pure chaos, controversy, and a strategy that looks like it came from a group chat at 3 a.m. I broke down every step of their funnel, from the viral outrage campaigns to UGC content, and how they converted all that noise into users and funding. And I want to show you exactly how they did it so you can apply it to your own startup. This took me hours to put together, but I promise you the juice here is insane. And so if you find this helpful, consider hitting that like button. It would help me out a lot. So it's never been easier to build a SaaS. And so everyone's quietly building in a corner, shipping a minimum viable product and posting a launch thread, posting on product hunt, and praying someone notices. But Cluely, they did the opposite. They didn't whisper. They launched like they wanted to get arrested. Literally, I mean it. If you're in the tech space and have a social media account, then you know this already. You've most likely seen Cluely. But if not, let's get into it. So here's the thing. Because it's never been easier to build, everyone is doing the same exact thing. But no one is making bold moves like Cluely. And so when someone does, they automatically succeed because there's literally no competition. I mean, just think about it. Everyone's fighting for the same scraps of attention right here. They're doing small posts, soft launches, polite copy. Nobody is swinging big like these guys. So there is no real competition up top. And this also ties to everyone that has become successful. Literally, think about it. Every single successful person you know, they've all made super huge bets. You know, take Elon Musk, for example, going head to head with NASA because they didn't have a plan to go to Mars. You know, Jeff Bezos selling everything you can think of on the internet. And, you know, Richard Branson creating an airline because his flight got cancelled. I mean, all of these guys made big, bold bets that no one else would dare to try. Just take this meme, for example. This guy makes big, bold, stupid bets without thinking, and he gets nowhere. Then we have the 95% of people that make polite, normal marketing bets, and they do okay. But then we have these guys, the top 1%, that also make big, bold, stupid bets, but they do it in a well-calculated way. And so this is essentially what Cluely did. They swung so big in a place where no one else was swinging. So to begin with, what is Cluely? It's basically an AI assistant that lives invisibly on your desktop. And not to discredit them or anything, but the product itself isn't anything crazy. You know, it's cool, of course, and very useful, but the founders said it themselves. I mean, there are other people that have created a version of what they've done, but haven't succeeded. It's basically an app that sees your screen, hears your meetings, and feeds you real-time answers on sales calls, interviews, tech work. But the reason how they've been able to do this so fast is because of one single sentence: cheat on everything. It's just so controversial that you can't ignore it. But all right, the funnel itself. Let's get into it. Okay, so their top of funnel. The goal here is mindshare and make the internet talk. And the site triggers are outrage, FOMO, shock, and everyone's talking about this. So I've split it up into 4 different categories: rage bait and PR stunts, founder as meme or anti-hero, UGC and Clippers content army, and then overproduced, high quality, controversial videos. So the first one. It seems like every single day they do something crazy. I mean, just an example of this is the CEO getting a lap dance from a stripper at work. You know, there's no world where this wouldn't go viral. And then they have hiring 50 interns at $50 an hour. Of course, this is a wow factor, makes people talk, and also drives curiosity for interns wanting to apply. Then they have things like, you know, Cluely YC party shut down by police. I've heard that they're planning a $1.5 million rave, which is just absolutely crazy. They're paying 700 clippers to clip content. And so every single day when they do stunts like this, they have the clippers clip them. And I'll get into that in section 3. So you get the idea. Just do stupid shit, connect it to Cluely somehow, and make the internet talk. It seems like there's literally nothing they won't do, which I highly respect these guys for having the balls to do this. There's not a lot of people in this world that would make content or bets like these. So yeah, we need more people in the world like these guys. All right, number 2, founder as meme or anti-hero. So Roy Lee's story is nothing short of interesting. He got expelled from Colombia for using his tool, Cluely, which was back then Interview Coder, to land a job at Amazon. And so he used the tool itself to cheat to get the job, and then he posted that onto social media, which obviously went viral. And so Amazon saw that, contacted Colombia, and Colombia basically expelled him. And so he used this as leverage, and as a result, obviously exploded. I mean, he's basically like a walking meme at this point, and his take is that if half the internet doesn't hate it, it's not viral enough. So yeah, I mean, take it from him. And also his rule of thumb is to go on minimum 2 podcasts a week for clippers to have enough content to clip. And talking about clippers, this is the most interesting part of their funnel, in my opinion. So like I said, they have 700 clippers or contractors that are paid to remix, clip, and repost content everywhere. And on top of this, like I mentioned here, they have 50 interns, or that's what they say they have, that record original TikToks and post them. For example, this girl here, she's one of their interns, and her account is just around Cluely. So she FaceTimes Fine Shit, or her boyfriend or whatever, and basically he asks her hard questions about football or something, and then you can see she's using the tool itself to answer him to fake it, and of course this goes super viral because on top of using Cluely, they're talking about Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, some controversial stuff that people will comment. Like for example, Prime Neymar clears just makes people comment. And you can see, she's gotten some pretty good views, 5.8, 2.5. And this is of course just one example. Also, they have this rule called 100 to 1 rule, which basically means you make 100 different videos and one will go viral. And then you repost that viral video across 100 accounts and 20 to 30 of those will also go viral. That's the core of the UGC and Clippers content army. So this brings them millions of views per week. And then we have the super high quality controversial videos. So these are product demos or marketing videos that don't really show the product. For example, the launch video, it was of Roy on a date with a girl, and he was using Cluely in real time. So basically like how you would in a meeting, but in real time. And so this, of course, went super viral. Then they recreated the social network trailer to announce their $15 million funding round. And then some other videos that are just controversial and funny. So again, make the internet talk. That's the whole goal. But this one part also plays a super important role because it takes people from seeing the rage bait stunts, the memes and everything, into realizing that this is actually a product and something they are putting money in, because this isn't just a meme low quality video, this is an actual high quality video. So people realize that, oh, okay, maybe something is going on here. And then they go deeper, check out the product, and eventually end up in middle of funnel. And all of these 4 pillars funnel down to external PR/press. Because what's the goal here? Mind share and make the internet talk. And what do these sites do? Exactly that. They talk about the things that people are talking about and the stuff that's interesting. And so this gives them a huge boost in publicity. And in here, the goal is to take them from curiosity into I need to try this. And the psych triggers are curiosity, proof, belonging, and scarcity. So the first part is influencer and UGC content again, but here they're more showcasing the product in use rather than just clipping memes and pushing the content out. So here they have UGC creators and influencers, but also Neil, for example, the other co-founder, posts more authentic and raw content, just talking about the business and what's going on behind the scenes in general. So Roy is more of a meme, while Neil is less a meme. Number 2 is official demos and product explainers. Pretty simple, nothing crazy here. We don't need to get into this, but they just create high-level videos of how the product itself works. And then we have press, podcasts, and comparisons. Roy said he had a rule to go on 2 podcasts a week, which is both good for clippers, but also it builds credibility and trust because he's a pretty smart guy. I highly recommend checking out some podcasts with him. And so they show the thinking behind it and people actually respect the guy way more, because before they just saw this, but once you see what's behind it and you realize that every single decision they've made is calculated, you respect him way more, which gives him a lot of authority and credibility. And now onto the bottom of funnel. The goal here is of course to turn wow into daily use and subscription. And the psych triggers here are instant power, limits, exclusivity, and habit. So the first part here is just smooth onboarding. It's quick and easy to understand and a really simple interface. And the guide itself makes you use the product while treating the video guides as a meeting, which is nice. And so the user feels the magic in seconds, because the shorter time you go from download to value, the better. You know, take a fitness program, for example. If you were to buy a course on how to lose weight and you would lose the desired amount within 30 seconds, of course, that's super, super valuable. So works the same with SaaS. And then the next pillars are pretty basic. You know, they have a free tier limit for 15 free responses a day, and they nudge you to upgrade to get more. So if you're using it a lot, you will hit the limit, and then they just have a clear upsell path. They could do a better job at retention. I know they are actively working on this right now, but yeah, they could do a better job. So yeah, that's essentially their funnel. And so what should you steal from this? Because you don't need to get a lap dance from a stripper, but here's what you can and should do. So first off, being play offense with your story, because let's be real, no one cares about some corporate jargon. You know, when was the last time you went to an about page and read something along the lines of, we are passionate about blah, blah, blah? You know, no one cares. So make your story the startup, because people buy from people, not businesses. And so lead with your story, not your roadmap. Number 2, now take this as you like, but don't ask for attention. Create arguments, because people don't share polite. They don't share nice. They share what the fuck is this? People will share, you know, the CEO of Cluely getting a lap dance. So like I said, you don't have to get a lap dance, but do something that people don't see every day. And number 3, of course, combine this with a killer product, because you can't have good marketing and a bad product. Of course, it can work in the short term and you can get some good sales off of it by just having virality, but you want that MRR to stack up and have the churn as low as possible. You know, some people think that Cluely is overhyped. So if they wouldn't have that and people actually think the product is elite tier, then they've already won. And then also a quick hack from Roy that I came across. Twitter plus LinkedIn over Instagram and TikTok. Instagram and TikTok are full of crap. People on Instagram and TikTok are used to seeing crazy videos, but then on Twitter and LinkedIn, they're not used to it. You know, LinkedIn is so boring. You know, you just have 90% of posts just text and maybe some photos. So if you have a video like Cluely's posted on there, it's always going to go more viral than on Instagram. And the same goes for Twitter. So to sum it up, rage bait on the front, proof in the middle, and then follow that up with a killer product. All right, now what I want you to do is take this and go make some money with this. Grab the attention, cash the checks, actually see how far you can take this. And once it gets too crazy, because it will if you do this right, you know, when Slack threads are on fire, metrics everywhere, inbox exploding, you need a system that grounds you and takes you to the next level. And so when that happens, hit me up. I'll help you scale by plugging you into a weekly execution system that turns startup chaos into clarity so you can scale without losing your mind. And so yeah, I hope you found value in this video. And if you did, consider doing all that YouTube stuff down below. And yeah, thanks so much.